What is up, guys? This is Tikwe, also known as Richard, and we're back to you guys with another casted game of myself playing the French against Beat You Back, also known as playing the French. Um, Interesting fact about this game is that you actually have to get information. I think that's probably the biggest win scenario in most games is knowing what to expect from an enemy. Um, we've been trying, or I've been trying, me and my girlfriend trying to figure out what's, the better play style when you're jumping into these games, because I seem to tend to lose more games when it gets into the Castle to Imperial Age, personally, and no matter what faction you're playing against, even against other French players. So I have to understand, where the transition lies. So I'm going to show you guys from both perspectives. We are going straight onto the standard French start, being the 6 villagers on sheep. First villager going onto the house, second villager coming out onto gold, 3 on gold, 9 on sheep, pushing up to 11, and then transitioning 2 onto wood, and 4 onto your landmark, and then the rest staying on sheep, and then just increasing that numbers, right? So on his side, he has, 8 villagers straight on sheep. No choice or change there. Let's see, there's the ninth villager only coming out. So he's 8 villagers strong on food, ninth villager only coming out for the wood and mining camp. So bit different. You chose to do this first. I just prefer doing this early, so you get the mining camp up and you get your keybinds in. Like um, I'll always, if you can just keep an eye here on the left, right? I bind my control W. I bind my town center. First scout here, control 1. That's the first scout. Second scout here, control 3. So I'll jump between them like this, just double tapping 3, 1 or 2, so I can actually choose where to move them, how to move them. You see, I spot sheep out, so I can actually pick them up. I actually missed 2, 3, 4, 5 sheep here. Holy smokes! Can you believe that, guys? That's crazy. That's crazy. Missed almost 7 sheep just in this little spot right here. That's unlucky. Let's see if I do turn left here. I'm kind of mad at myself for that one. I go right. If I got that, I would have had almost, 15 sheep lead on him because I did get here. We're on 11. We have another 4 here. That was going to be another 4 to 5 sheep there. So 22 sheep. That's a good 5,000 to 6,000 food to start off the game with, and that's really strong, especially on with the map where your water is quite exposed. What a lot of people do is they push forward with a dock. It was 5 sheep that we missed. You can see here there is 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, essentially 8 fishing shoreline fish here. So what a lot of people do is they'll actually come forward and place a dock down here and defend it with a tower or 2, and then have those boats collecting the shoreline fish. It's a really nice long late game food supply. So you know even this side, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So depending on what side you choose, just kind of scout it out before you choose. But a lot of people tend to do that. I heard him start his landmark sooner than me, and I didn't know how aggressive he was going to be. So I pushed it with 8 villagers. I kept 1 on food and kept the production going. I have a villager on the lumber camp. So I'm trying to make sure my economy is stable, so I can still keep jumping between the scouts and the town center, so we can just get into the game. It's a 23-minute game. I'm just gonna speed up until we get to basically, there we go. Slow down again. So landmark's done. His landmark's probably very close to done. You can see there's like a give or take 20 seconds difference between his landmark and mine. So he is sitting on more or less 7, 8 sheep there. We're on 15 here, so we do have a food advantage. And what's nice about that is you don't have to transition to a forward food like this. He does do that, and it's good to get your mill out because you want to get survival techniques, which hunted meat carry capacity by 15% is increased, and hunted meat gather rate by 10%. That's huntable gear, right? It doesn't apply to sheep. Sheep benefit from the horticulture, which is the 15% increased gather rate, and the wheelbarrow. So in my opinion, the wheelbarrow would have been a better choice because he only has 2 here and he has 9 on the sheep. So to increase that wheelbarrow capacity is awesome. And then secondly, you go into the survival techniques. But yeah, so we're training Royal Knights, trying to keep a consistent flow of them going. You can see he's doing exactly the same. It's a very good mirror here, but he has only a few on wood, and he's moving I think all of this over to wood. No, he's moving them down to the food. I think he felt this was exposed because I scouted it out. But I do see him move forward with that little scout battle going on here. And we have the 2 forward knights, but I didn't want to allow this forward food just to keep staying there because then my advantage that I already obtained by the double scout start and the 13, 15 sheep advantage, that goes to waste because I didn't, harass this. So I do come forward with my knights, and I think I do turn to harass this. Let's see. Just stop playing it very safe. I don't know why I don't have go and harass. There we go. There goes the harass. So I know it is a good thing to have the outpost up, but you don't want more than 5 villagers per outpost because then you can just press, if you hover over it, you press G, they go immediately into shelter. You see 5 villagers in there, those 2 villagers there got killed because the shelter is full, right? So these villagers are free picking. He's not even responding with the Royal Knight here, he's only bringing those 2. But I'm just trying to get a few villagers picked off here. I do lose a knight, that's okay. Get another villager, and now we're backing off. So we're on 3, 4 royal knights. He's sitting on, still training some up here, but he has the 2 down here. So you can see those little micromanagement things like how much he has on gold. You don't need this much on gold right now. Just want to make sure you have enough to get your your royal knights out, and you have enough food to get villagers and the royal knight production going, and not run out of food to do that, right? So you can see my food is basically zeroing out the whole time. But at the same time, I have a barracks out. I have a archery range, just for in case. I didn't know what was his style going to be. The archery range is pretty nice when they do decide to go archers with the Royal Knights, because then you have the opportunity to pick off those light infantry with your archers. But in this game, we chose to go into a double barracks to get the spearmen out, and I'm going for the harass again because I know this forward food was heavy on villagers. So I'm like, no, this can't be allowed. We have to go and fight this, and I think I go almost. I think I go for a ram rusher. Let's see what happens. Um, I'm doing cost games because I find it quite difficult to chat to you guys and tell you exactly what I'm doing um, without forgetting or getting the names wrong, like the School of Cavalry, etc. So he gets the knights into the town center, then he swaps them out for the villagers. Right now, we're just denying this food source. It ends up being quite expensive because of this outpost. Um, this outpost ends up doing so much damage to me. We're sitting on 4 royal knights and 3 hardened spearmen, and I think you can pick the target. If I'm correct, you can select the outpost and like right click the spearman because it's not static to the Royal Knights. So he's on 3 Royal Knights there with a double stable. He has some food still going, very high on the gold. He's sitting on 1,000 gold. So possibly I didn't even scout this out. I was just trying to make sure I'm microing the spearmen out, and you can see I'm chasing my or telling my spearmen, my archers, all my army to actually come forward. This was kind of greedy of me to get in like this, because when you already won this fight, you've already killed a few villagers. What I did right here was sacrificial. I lost 2 Royal Knights and 2 Spearmen and an Archer, so that's a good 1,000, 2,000 resources lost right there, right? But you also don't want to allow your enemy to attain a mass over you, so you run out of competition. So you can see here he's doing the double stable Royal Knight production. So he has a very strong production right there. I think he eventually had to probably have a market, or I'm not sure how he's keeping up with food, because we did kill this out. He has the berries. Okay, there we go. Um, on my side, we still heavy on the sheep. 11 villagers here. Still have 6 sheep and carcasses on the ground. So another 13 on wood. I actually slowed down with the villager production, which is a bad thing. But I want to get as much hardened spearmen out as possible. We did get the upgrade, so they're going to be veteran spearmen. Oh, veteran spearmen only in Castle Age. Hardened spearmen is feudal age, and then we're just getting a few archers in there because they help manage your army. I would like, if I had to split this army up, I would be like, okay, knights you're on 3, spearmen 4, and then if we select the archers 5, um, just make sure. Here we go, 5. You see the 5 on the spearmen actually dropped away. Let's say all of this is 5. If I double click archers and just press 5, it goes away from them. So if you want to move the whole army, I can press 6 now. I can move the whole army. 3 just knights, 4 just spearmen, 5 just um, archers. So I keep the scout in front so I can actually preemptively decide what to do when this comes forward. He goes for quite a sneaky little play here. So obviously this is quite a nice big push, if I can put it like that. I'm not sure where his attention is right now, but I think he's kind of trying to find out what I'm doing. And this is quite clever of him. I get forward with the spearman, back off again, because it's power play, right? We're sitting on 14 spearmen with the Royal Knights at the back. He's sitting on 14 Royal Knights. He's gonna win this fight with 14 Royal Knights. The spear are strong, but they're not gonna withstand 14 Knights. But look at this. So this is from my perspective. I did not see him right here. So I am still training spearmen, so it's not a worst case scenario, but I do spot him, going through here. He should have just gone down to the back here. If he did that, I was probably going to lose this. So I did get the ram off. It's just a random ram sitting there right now. So now I need to choose between, defending, because my base is open. There's nothing to defend this, right? Um, and he's just trying to do as much damage as he can now with these Royal Knights. And I pushed the ram forward. I should have probably gone a little bit deeper, or for the mill, but I just sent it forward because it was already built, or maybe just moved them aside for the second time we can come around. So I cancelled the second ram that was busy being built. He's doing really well with the double stables, getting those Royal Knight masses up. But at this point in time, we've picked off quite a few of them um, from his perspective. sitting on 12. I think he was on. He lost a few here. I'm not sure how many he lost there, but still not a good trade for me. So I'm like, okay, cool. If we are going to fight this, we need to make sure our hardened spearmen are out, and the masses is much more to counter the amount of Royal Knights he's training. And three times we've fought now. Every single time is just Royal Knights. So obviously the Spearman is your best option because they do, as a single Spearman, they just do 9 damage, but versus Cavalry, they do increase 20 damage and they mitigate the charge 100%. So if you press attack move, they will actually brace, which is, holding the spear and letting the horseman charge into them, and they'll take 0 damage from that because of the Spearmen being a complete counter to the Royal Knights. If you had to go archers with this fight, I would completely have lost this. So there again, he's on 7 Royal Knights there. He's on 14, so 21 Royal Knights already out. That's a huge amount of Royal Knights. If you had to come into my base with that amount of Royal Knights, that is scary. He also has the food here on the top. Extended berry source. He has the gold mine because he depleted the back. Very little wood going on, and some idle villagers right here. But I cannot go for this forward food source. I'd rather be safe and get the farms out because I have the excess wood line. So we have this forward army. We have heavy spears, and I think at this point, he's feeling really confident. It's 24 Royal Knights. I mean, this alone is worth a ton of resources. Um, and that's why I'm saying early, like I did it early in the video, you have to kind of choose and decide. Like, imagine now, from my perspective, right? I know I saw him training a whole bunch of Royal Knights, right? I'm sitting on a low food gold. I'm not gonna get to Castle Age really quickly here, right? He's sitting on the very big mass of Royal Knights. But how do you make use of this much Royal Knights? If I just keep training Spearmen, he has to decide, okay, is it worth investing, close to 8,000 worth of resources into a fight if you know there was Spearmen out, right? So it's a 50-50 gamble to do this. Um, so we have our first army out of position here at the back. We did train Spearmen, and you can see he sees the Spearmen and immediately kind of decides to take us on because that's all he sees. Second army is going to come forward now, and you can see how quickly those Spearmen, after the brace is done, falls. But I mean, to lose 2 or 3 Spearmen versus 2 or 3 horse Royal Knights, that's a lot more resources he lost than I did. So right now we know, okay, it's just Royal Knights, and we do have a Spearman advantage. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's rather chase this. Let's finish this off because we have the Royal Knights to act as tanks and take the punch of these forward charging horsemen. We have 28 Spearmen, quite a lot of Spearmen. That's going to take the blunt of the damage from them. And we have the archers to fill in, any villagers or any extra control, like, constructing battering rams or picking off villagers, and because you have those control groups like this, I can switch between the armies and make sure what needs to happen. So let's just keep number 3 selected. You can see we had this initial Spearman push forward. Now we're pulling them back, getting the rams out. But I mean, he lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 Royal Knights there. Yes, he's training more, but they also don't have the upgrade, I think. Oh, they do actually have the upgrade. So when they're out of combat, they do heal. But in this kind of scenario, it's not going to be that much. So, we selected our waypoints to be all the way down here. And, we're just trickling in more resources. There's the double barracks. I think I ended up going for a triple barracks. We know it's just Royal Knights all the time. We've won that fight a few times now. Now we're getting the battering rams out because we want to kind of end this fight. at this point in time, if he had to just, he can't really go into archers because he doesn't have the wood production. He's only on food and gold. Any wood that does have, he invested into farms. But it's a 50-50 shot if you want to go this heavy into Royal Knights. It is really strong, I'm not gonna lie, but you can see any faction, doesn't matter if it's a French Mirror or Holy Roman or whoever that's going to be. If you're going to sit on, this amount of Spearmen versus the Royal Knights, you're going to lose much more resources than I am by losing a few Spearmen. So we have the battering rams ready. We're getting the outpost ready, just so we can have vision on what's going on here behind us if anything tries to flank us. And again, control groups are there. That's the control groups. We're using the spears to deal with these Royal Knights. They know the rams are a bigger threat than the spearmen right now, but um, we just we're just going for the all-in right now. So we have the spears. They're focusing down the rams. I'm just letting the rams soak up the damage while we try and kill off as many of the Royal Knights as we can. He just went to Castle Age, so that's quite nice. So the horsemen, they're on 31 now. They do a bit extra damage. You can see he went for the shore-based fish now because he was running out of food the whole time. But look how many times these villagers had to reposition for food. And if we had to do the same, it's going to be quite dangerous. You have to decide, are you going to be safe and defensive like we're doing right now and invest your wood into safe food supplies, or are you going to, go out on a limb? And I mean, if I had to find this out with my armies, he's going to lose 100% of his food supply, and then that's basically GG for him, because you need the food to train villagers or um, you know get back into the game. So the Rams are breaking this down. We're using the archers to get the third one up. We have the Spearmen just going through and cutting off any other um, production supply that he has. You can see he has the veteran Royal Knights. He did get the upgrade. Um, that's this one right here. So he is trying to abuse those Royal Knights, which is really good. But on a French mirror, you are going to expect that to happen. So always be prepared to counter, just two archers already. Look at how quickly they're mitigating the damage of these spearmen, right? So if you had to have 20 or 30 archers with that amount of Royal Knights, that's GG. No way I'm going to defend that unless I have some mangonels or some form of late game siege to control the amount of units that he has. You can see even just three archers, they're doing some significant damage to these spearmen. But he just doesn't have the numbers to do anything right now. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. You can see we're also pushing up to the third age here, but that was a French mirror matchup. Please be careful with your resources and don't just all in with one unit. Do think about the enemy and the counters. And thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys have a nice day. Please do like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Bye bye.